Hello, Larry. Welcome to the campsite. Just passing through, are you? Everywhere we go, scrub turkeys. Wandering around the place, looking for a feed. Larry, what'd you find? Mate, come back.
We left Cape Hillsborough after our walk at Andrews Point, the best coastal walk we did on the trip. Over the next few days, we would be heading in a northwesterly direction away from the coast. Today was a very short drive, only 100 kilometers or so, to the Cathu State Forest. The drive into Janek's camp area is pretty easy. You could get a two-wheel drive in with no difficulties. I just would not try it during wet weather. We settled in at our camp, which we had all to ourselves, and enjoyed the Bob and Larry show.
We found ourselves a lovely little camping area called the Jackson Camping Area. And it is located 11K off the Bruce Highway. And it took us about an hour, a little over an hour, from Cape Hillsborough. It's in the rainforest, and there's lovely little camp spots everywhere. We're the only ones here at the moment, but it is early. It's only 1:30, so we could get visitors come a little bit later. But each of the campsites has a little fire area, a little fire ring, little picnic area, and there are pit toilets here as well.
We're at a state forest. And look what we found. Pine cones. I'm going to take a walk down by the riverbank here in the rainforest. I don't know what any trees are in rainforests really, except vines and tree ferns, things like that, but all the different little plants, I have no idea. I'm in thongs and socks. That's pretty.
A lovely little crystal clear creek.
See how everything's a vine and just struggling up for sunlight. They suffocate other things. There's strangler figs that do that.
We're settling in for the evening at our Janek's campground. Got a fire going. We're gonna have some steaks on the fire. Jill is reading her book, which is pretty close to the end. James Patterson, The River Murders.
It's 3 shorter stories in one book.
Oh,
all
okay.
with the same lead character.
Cool. Jill's sucking on a vodka cruiser.
No, my bartender failed me.
Oh, Jill's not sucking on a vodka cruiser. And I've got a Schweppes ginger ale and bourbon, homemade bourbon, aged in the oak cask at home.
You said Schweppes isn't as good as Kirk's, though.
No, Schweppes is definitely not as good as Kirk's. Schweppes, lift your game. So I need to get up and get you a cruiser, is that correct? Okay. Killing me, man. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button, baby. I got no idea what those things are, but there's a big pile of them over there that somebody's laid down. And they're a deep, deep red timber, and they're freaking heavy as anything. Obviously building material of some description, but no idea what it is, mate. So sing out. Let us know. What the hell is that?
There's one on each side of the truck.
It's quite interesting. We got Larry here, who's a little bit unhappy about the other Larry. This dude here knows about the food, but I don't think he's the alpha Larry. I think he's the beta Larry. And there's the alpha Larry just there. But alpha Larry doesn't know where the food stash is. So this young man we're calling beta Larry because alpha Larry kicks his butt. But alpha Larry doesn't know that there's a stash here of maple granola bars. But beta Larry, he knows there's a stash here. So he keeps coming back, but he's keeping his eye open for alpha.
Larry.
I threw the drone up to check out the ridge that we were going to drive to the following morning, and then settled in for the evening campfire. Just before we went to bed, we had a visit from a very cute and furry friend. Before leaving Cathu State Forest the following day, we decided to take a four-wheel drive track up the range to a lookout. It was a spectacular drive, and if you're ever in this area, I highly recommend it. But be aware, at nearly 1,000 meters above sea level, it can get very cold at night, and with the coast only a short 15 kilometers away, it rains often.
Well, we just packed up our camp at Januk's camping area, and we're heading towards a lookout in the Cathu State Forest. And I think that's it in front of us. It's a four-wheel drive track in, apparently. So far it's been pretty easy, just a normal forestry track really. But we'll go check it out anyway and see what we can find. Then it's heading into Proserpine, fill up with a couple of essentials, and then off to Lake Proserpine.
Steady climb.
It is a steady climb, yeah. It's 1,000 meters, this lookout, so it's a decent sized one. I wouldn't want to hit this track in the wet. It would be greasy. We're 3/4 of the way up now from our camp and still climbing. It's a beautiful drive. We're in a hoop pine forest at the moment.
Cows?
Yeah.
Way up here.
Yeah, mountain cows. Like Jill said, one leg would be longer than the other up here. There is actually some camps up along here as well, so if you didn't want to camp down at that Januk State Forest camp area, you could push on up here. No facilities, obviously, but
Not much room for more than 1 or 2 vehicles.
that's true, yeah. You wouldn't get a big group up here at all.
Very pretty.
It's stunning. All these hoop pines growing quite densely. Area up to the Cathu lookout has been smashed by a very big storm, or perhaps a cyclone, because all the trees are twisted off on the tops. And there are cattle up here that have strategically placed landmines upon our track. Nice one, cows.
Well played.
Well played, indeed. Here's what the little parking area looks like for this lookout. And if you blow past it, you'd never know it was here because there's no signage or anything. All you've got are a couple of logs on the ground that sort of mark parking bases, I guess, and a few bollards along the edge there, and that's it. And the walking track runs off in that direction. So I'll drop a pin for GPS coordinates so you can't miss it, but I wouldn't miss it either. It's a pretty spectacular lookout. Here's the lookout that we shot past, and we are partially in cloud. Wow, that's cool. That's the road we came in on down there, through that pine plantation. Right down there. Okay, what do you think about that lookout, honey?
Very pretty.
Yeah.
Wish it was clear because yeah, you can see up to the ocean.
Yeah. How come you're in your jumper?
Yes,
it is a little chilly up here at the moment.
On the way back down past Janek's camp area, we took a diversion north on a four-wheel drive track, just so we did not have to backtrack the way we came in. Error.
Coming down the road, and we got a giant carpet python in front of us.
Here's the front of our truck. And look what's coming across the road. Big carpet python.
He's got to be a good 1.5 meters long. Come on, keep moving, Betty.
Guy, you got to get off the road so we can go by and no one else runs you over.
Keep waiting for the wildlife.
Yeah. Oh, that scared me.
Heading north out of the Cathu State Forest and on our way to Proserpine.
Taking a scenic route.
It is definitely a scenic route, Jill. I'd have to agree with you. The track is not all that used. But that's good. That's why we came out here. Go to those out of the way places.
Spiders in there.
Random shed in the bush.
That's a spider storage station.
A babbling brook.
Water striders.
Got another babbling brook to get across. It's actually flowing. It's quite nice. That road is deteriorating significantly.
Very. It's just scratching the shit out of everything. I don't know. This is ridiculous. There's not hardly a road.
This place is riddled with tracks, and it's very easy to get spun around. Even with our mapping software guiding us, the track we hoped would punch out to a road north simply disappeared into the scrub. After nearly an hour wandering these tracks, we raised the white flag and drove back out to the road we came in on, and eventually hit the bitumen.
Okay, we're stuck in the state forest, but we think this might be the way out. Beautiful track.
It's really neat. You got palm trees and gum trees and
Pine trees.
around.
There's where we were, up on the Cathu lookout on the top of that ridge line. up in the clouds. We got that creek to contend with again for about the 20th time. Yeah, probably some kids playing. On the main road, are we?
Yeah, this is the road we came into the State Forest on yesterday.
Right. Okay. Well, that was a lovely drive through the forest, getting completely lost. All right, looks like we go back out the way we came. There you go. Word of warning, even with maps, this is seriously confusing back in through the State Forest.
On our way north, we made a side trip into Airlie Beach to check it out, as it had been 25 years since we were there last. It's developed immensely since then, and to be honest, not our cup of tea.
Jill and I ducked in for lunch at Airlie Beach, and this has changed so much since we were here 25, 30 years ago. Used to be a couple of strip shops, and that was about it. This strip here was the main Airlie Beach strip. That's all there was. And there you have it, Airlie Beach.
We did stop for lunch and try to do our little bit to help out the struggling tourism sector as we were there while the state borders were still closed. From there it was back on the road to Peter Faust Dam outside of Proserpine. There's a free camp managed by the local council on the shores of the dam, and that is where we pulled up for the evening. After our night at Peter Faust Dam, we departed during a foggy morning and traveled back into Proserpine for a hearty brekkie, again to try and support the local economy.
We woke to a very foggy morning at Lake Proserpine, which is unusual. We haven't had fog yet, not like this. This particular camp is not Jill and I's style. It is free, which is fine. We like free. It's got toilets, which are very clean, and amenities blocks, which are very clean. But it's packed. It's packed with people. And we tend to like the more out-of-the-way places without people, and where it takes a little bit of adventure to get to. And this one's on a bitumen road, so there's no adventure to get out here. So I would consider it a all-right spot for an overnight stay if you're getting from point A to point B. But personally, we wouldn't make this as a destination.
To come here and go, let's go stay there for a weekend.
No, definitely not. Maybe if you're a kayaker or something, you can enjoy some water sports, but for us, no. Nice place to visit. Wouldn't want to live there. So today we've got a big day. We've got about a 400-kilometer trip to Dalrymple National Park, which is north of Charters Towers. So back to Proserpine. We'll have some brekkie there. Try and help the locals out a little bit by spending a bit of money in the towns. And then we'll head up the Bruce to just before Townsville, and then we'll swing west out towards Charters Towers.
I was walking over to the toilets and the guy said, "Hi Jill, how are you?" And I was like, "What?" And then he said, "How's Terry?" I was like, "What?" And he goes, "Saw you on Jaffa." And I was like, "Wow." He's like, "What's Terry doing?" So we had a chat for a minute, and then Overy's going to have a chat with you, and then I came back and we all had a chat together. He's a very nice man.
Yeah, very nice gentleman. Out of Mackay, retired, used to work in the mines, had a business that provides services to the mines, and he's enjoying life now, which is awesome. So thanks, Victor. Appreciate you subscribing and following along, mate. Hopefully we can keep up the good content.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll be in touch when you're down our way.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be awesome.
Yep. Drop me a line. On the Bruce Highway, just outside of Bowen, heading north. All going well. Still got a couple 100K before we turn off, just before Townsville. That's Mount Pring in the foreground at the moment. Pretty cool, bold little mountain. Big ass bridge. Can you tell what river it is? Doesn't say.
Burdekin.
Oh, the Burdekin River. Okay. We're on the road into Dalrymple National Park. It's not signed from the main road at all. But when you get to that Fletcher Creek camp area, that's where you turn right onto Leichhardt's Road if you're heading northbound. And that Fletcher's Creek had a million campers there. Caravans stacked on top of caravans. Well, we've pulled into our campsite at Dalrymple National Park. And check this out. How good is that? Camped right on the Burdekin River. Got a beautiful shade tree. Multiple shade trees, in fact. Fire pit, firewood, and best of all, nobody around. There's 4 campsites in the park. This one's number 1. And we haven't looked at the other ones yet, but I absolutely rate this one. And you've got to book them. You've got to actually book the numbers online. So if one's not taken, I can highly recommend it. We're going to go for a walk out in the river once it cools down a little bit, because it's 28 degrees at the moment. Here's Jill chillaxing. What do you think, hon? Good.
About all, like, I'm just reading.
About all what?
I'm just reading. Yeah, that's about all I could think. Just good. Very nice. There's a lovely breeze. Where are you going?
I'm going to cut up a little bit of wood with the electric chainsaw.
What for?
For our fire tonight. There's some really big long pieces that need to be shortened, and I just need a couple of decent sized logs as well.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay.
I'm gonna look at this tree next to you with the
ant
termite.
Okay.
It's a termite. These are termite like vein type things. They go up the outside of the tree and hollow it out. But yeah, you can see all the way down to the ground. And they come up from in the ground, and then they're all the way up to the very his little chainsaw that he keeps. He has his usual safety equipment on.
There's hundreds of roo tracks down here. They must be coming down to get to the water. Here's Jill walking in the riverbank, and up behind her is camp. What a stunning little spot. Cool scalloped landscape here. How far is she gonna make it? It wobbles back and forth as well as up and down. Hey. And there she is, the Burdekin River in all her glory. Just awesome.
What are you doing, Tare?
Having a swim in the Burdekin River.
More specifically,
At the Dalrymple camping area in the
no.
Burdekin River.
I see your clothes on a rock here.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Okay. My clothes fell off.
He's skinny dipping.
Oh. Very nice.
That's good.